What's up, guys? So as you can see, Batman the ride behind me, that's a pretty good indicator that we are at Six Flags. We traveled here to Atlanta, Georgia, well, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, for Six Flags Over Georgia today. Now, before we go in there, we do have a quick pit stop that I'm gonna show you right now at Fun Spot Atlanta, so here's that. Fun Spot Atlanta, we are here. I am completing the Fun Spot Park Gauntlet, mainly here for ArieForce, of course, but also Hurricane, but mainly Arie. Another fun spot, another monster truck. This one is Samson. Honestly, maybe cooler than Bigfoot because I actually do remember seeing this truck at like the Race Rock back in the day. I don't know if it's the same one, although Bigfoot was also there. So maybe Fun Spot just like bought him when Race Rock closed. I don't know. I think it's been in better condition before though. Some very high level theming here. But this is where we're headed next. I am so hyped right now. All right, we just did 3 rides on this absolute monster right here. It was incredible, like elite, top 5 for sure, maybe higher, I don't know yet, but like the airtime is immaculate and you get so much of a mix. You get the inversions, you get the hills, and everything gives you airtime. It was absolutely phenomenal. The final run of hills, I know a lot of people say it's like a lot, but honestly, I thought it was still pretty fun. Like, that thing is absolutely amazing. One ride that has constantly eluded me over the past like year or so is Hurricane at Fun Spot Kissimmee. But this one is actually operational right now. So we're gonna get a ride on Fun Spot Atlanta's Hurricane before we even get on the one in Florida, which is kind of funny. But this thing looks really janky and like it might fall apart at any second. I'm pretty excited to ride it though. Well, I just got off Hurricane, and I will say it is a ride that I have been on, so there is that. Also, like, it doesn't really do much, and the second and third turnarounds both were like, they're running on square wheels. Like, it was so janky and back and forth. It didn't hurt, I will say that. I'm not like in pain. It was just like, it was like so bad that it was really funny. So I guess I can say it was enjoyable in that way, but yeah, it's definitely not good. All right, we just finished off with some more action here on Arie. Definitely, like I said before, incredible ride, but we're out of here, Fun Spot Atlanta. It is a park that I've been to, but ArieForce 1, so worth it. Like, if you're coming here anyway, like if you're already coming to Georgia, there's no reason to not come ride this thing. It is so good. But with that, we're now off to Six Flags Over Georgia. All right, welcome back to Six Flags. We're gonna head in. The park is about to open. We're gonna try to get all the credits today. Hopefully everything's running. I did see Goliath testing and I did see Cyclone testing as well. And those are obviously the big like top 2 here. So as long as we can get on those, I'll be pretty happy. All right, as you can see, we have made it into the park and it is all decked out for Fright Fest. Loving all the orange everywhere, very nice. But we are gonna head straight for Daredevil Dive, as I have heard that there's really no other option but to start with Daredevil Dive because of the capacity. So we're gonna head straight back there and get our first ride of the day in. Also just wanna point out like the blood fountain for Fright Fest. That is really sick. And here we are for our first ride of the day. I'm pretty hyped for this one, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so Daredevil Dive was not a bad way to start the day. Not like an overly thrilling ride. First drop was pretty good. The slow roll at the end, I always really like those, so that was good. Overall, it was decent. All right, we are in the back of the park and it is really dead back here, but that's good because we want to ride Superman Ultimate Flight. Definitely a ride that I really like as it's coming. The pretzel loop, the famous pretzel loop. Oh yeah. So Superman was amazing as always, but up next, we're gonna do the Great American Scream Machine since we're already back here. Now this ride, notoriously known as one of the absolute roughest wooden coasters in the country, but very recently got retracked. So it will be interesting to see if it's still an absolute torture device or if it's fun. So we'll see which way this one swings, but I am excited to try it. So I obviously can't speak to how Great American Scream Machine ran before, but if it was as rough as people said, then they did a really good job on that retrack because it was not rough at all. Like, it had that classic wooden coaster rumble to it, but it was not rough at all. As for forces, it didn't really do much, but it was a nice classic woody with a nice lake setting, so I enjoyed it. And once again, while we're already at the back of the park, we're gonna knock out Blue Hawk. All right, so we are off Blue Hawk. It wasn't bad. It was a bit shaky for sure, but it had best restraints, so, you know, no headbanging. It did grate me out pretty hard on that first inversion after the drop. And there are also some pretty cool head chopper moments as well, so all in all, not a bad ride. All right, we're gonna tone things down a little bit and do the two family coasters, starting with the Joker Funhouse. And now it is time for yet another mine train. All right, so we just rode the mine train. It was her 100th coaster, and it was actually really bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was like jostly as hell, and the seats are super hard. I think I'm actually gonna have a bruise. Like, it was really, really bad. It's not just another mine train, it's worse. Up next, we're gonna do Georgia Scorcher. So pray for me. So Georgia Scorcher was decent, but I will say it's probably the best stand-up I've been on that isn't Pipeline. So it's got that going for it. Overall, pretty decent ride. All right, the time has come for Goliath. This is definitely my most anticipated coaster in this park. So will it live up to the hype? We will see. So Goliath was pretty amazing. The turnaround, super intense. Lots of good airtime without the trim brake in there. It was really, really good. But as you can see, they're currently still working on Kid Flash. This was supposed to open this summer, but it did not. So I don't know when it's actually gonna open, but it will eventually. And up next, as you can see, there goes Riddler. We're gonna ride that as well as Batman, which is right over there. And we'll report back after those rides. So Mindbender was all right. Again, similarly to Great American Scream Machine, I can't speak for like its original form, which I heard was a lot better. but it was definitely not very intense, but it was very smooth, so that was good. As for Batman, maybe the best back clone. I know I just said that at Great America, but that one was so smooth and so whippy at the same time, so it was really, really great. All right, we just have one coaster left to ride, and that is Twisted Cyclone. May have saved the best for last. We shall see. All right, now we have finished every coaster in the park. Which one do you think is the best?
Twisted
Cyclone. Yeah, okay. So I guess we saved the best for last. I don't know. It's between that and Goliath for sure. Not 100% yet, but I think Twisted Cyclone is probably the best. It's really good. It is short, but that's really the only drawback. All the elements pop pretty good. First drop is really great. I like it a lot. All right, now that we're done with all the coasters, it is time to try the Monster Mansion, and I am very excited for this. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna lie, Monster Mansion was pretty awesome. But now we're gonna grab a ride on the train, get some good views of the park. So that train ride had some really, really good scenery. Got some cool shots of the coasters, but it was also probably the most annoying train ride I've ever been on. Believe me, you guys are very fortunate that I muted all the audio and put just regular background music in, because they had like an MC on the ride. Oh, in fact, I'll play you a little sample. Here you go.
It's on me, you say, oh yeah. You say, all right. Yeah.
So I don't know how well the clip does it justice, but it was literally like blasting music in our ears and he was like screaming over it. It was something, but also you may have seen that there was a monster there, so Fright Fest has started. We're not doing Fright Fest or anything like that, but maybe we'll see some monsters. We saw one at least. Well, I think we just found a scare zone, so that's kind of cool.
Astronaut, girl, it's an astronaut.
Please stop recording. This is federal law. The federal law says you have to stop recording. Do you understand?
I'm sorry, I will stop.
I told you all.
Oh my goodness. By the way, this Fright Fest has Saw. They don't have The Conjuring at this one, but they do have Saw. But the funny part is that if you want to do Saw, you have to wait till mid-October, which basically means the event is like 2 weeks away from ending. All right, over Georgia. We are getting out of here. All right, guys, cutting ahead a bit here. We are currently in line for Cookout, AKA the absolute GOAT of fast food, and Orlando needs to get on it and get one like yesterday. So Six Flags over Georgia overall, kind of a weird place in a few ways, but I will say definitely had some good sight lines. And then I will say also that there's a lot of like hilly terrain. So similarly to Magic Mountain, there's kind of a lot of uphill walking you have to do, which is not the best thing ever, but it also is, you know, not that bad. As for the rides itself, Monster Mansion, of course, quite iconic. But as for the coasters, Goliath and Twisted Cyclone, very good 1-2 punch. Definitely well above average in that regard. You also have some good supporting coasters such as Batman and Superman, and then a few coasters in there that are decent too. So, you know, not the strongest lineup of any park I've ever been to, but also there's a lot of parks that's got a better lineup than. So I definitely think it's a fun time. And it was also fun to see some monsters roaming around on the way out. You know, like I said, we weren't doing Fright Fest, but we got to see a few scare actors out in the streets, which was cool. And that is going to do it from me. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.